another new soul in Ulcerant. Tell me, are you here for the rite of Mitharu as well? His voice is clear to those who truly wish to believe. I'm an apothecary. I never thought about vast things, the workings of the heavens, the way of gods. But then I lost my mother. In my grief, I wandered here, into the desert, where the voice came to me. It drew me here, to the oasis. And when I was at my weakest, my most despairing, Mitharu comforted me, and asked me to come give my offering. Since then, I have led others here. Great Mitharu holds the fates of our world in his hands. Without his divine order, everything would descend into chaos. We are meant to make his message a reality. Why, the voice belongs to none other than Mitharu himself. He speaks to us through this place, this oasis.
Hail, adventurer. Are you here to present an offering to Mitharu? It's wonderful, if only because Mitharu has blessed it with his presence. I heard word of this shrine from her. Followed her all the way from Dalentarth. I've not trained anyone since coming to the desert, but very well. Any money I make will benefit Mitharu, so I will teach you. Farewell, adventurer.
Mitharu has chosen each of us for the gifts we can bring him.
Hardly know where we are, let alone what this place is. I just want my husband back. I've heard that these wilds are the last place in Detyre to find the Fae undisturbed. I'm a seamstress, an excellent one. Lot of good it's doing me right now. Please, my husband needs help. I can't bear to think about what the Fae are doing to him in there. We were just trying to pass through to the Red Marches when Amalur became ill. We had stopped so he could catch his breath when the Fae came storming out of their ruin. They took him past the barrier to the south, and I haven't seen him since. They took him to a ruin beyond that fork in the road. I tried to stop them, but they won't release him until the curse is removed. I have no idea what they're speaking of. Please, help us! Thank you so much. The Fae took him through the narrow pass nearby.
Looks like I'm in luck. Didn't expect to see so heavily armed an adventurer wandering into our camp. Are you interested in a job? I've got a fey beast situation I need taken care of. Excellent. A pack of wild fey have holed up at the Canyon Hill site at the top of the ledge. I've already dispatched a scholar to investigate, but he hasn't returned. You'll find him near the road towards the mine. I'll have more information for you there, but it isn't useful for much else. The coward refuses to go near the fey. Get to the site and figure out why those blasted things have come out of the mine, and then get rid of them. Speak to the scholar when the deed is done. He'll pay you. If it weren't for the beast lurking at our doorstep every day, I'd find this place quaint. As it is, I can barely retain my sanity. Capstan Odvar runs an inn and serves as our chief of security. Oh, where are my manners? Foreman Vire at your service. This here is Motus Mining's latest outfit, and my care and charge. I've seen some strange things. Flickers and flashes from the top of that mountain. No idea what causes it, and I don't want none. We've got our hands full down here as it is. I've received reports of strange happenings in those caverns. One of the workers claimed he saw horrifically scarred men wandering near Saltwell Mouth. He's a weak-eyed, knock-kneed, biscuit-biting excuse for a scholar. But he's the one I've got, so that's that. They were our biggest competition, and they discovered this site, actually. When we caught wind of it, we made sure to get up here with a bag of gold for each of his workers. So they promised to work for us instead, of course. Work like a charm. Poor Edgar Erin never found a way to recover from that. There's no one else to run his mine. He probably couldn't find the money to pay them even if he found new staff. If I sound proud of us, it's 'cause I am. It was a big victory for Motus. A forsaken, wretched wasteland with more beasts than grains of sand. Still, by the domes of Odessa, I'll not see this venture fail. Our scholar Enser ought to be at the Canyon Hill site, getting to the bottom of this damn holdup. He ought to be back already, telling me how he fixed it. If you do see him, give him a kick for me and tell him to get on with it. I've got miners just standing around not mining. They're cowards, the whole lot of them. They came scurrying back, complaining about the passage to Canyon Hill site, blocked by Fae. Now they won't go near the eastern ledge and me without a single Praetorian to deal with them. Good day.
Work at Canyon Hill Mine is not complete. I'm not sure what's more dangerous.
You look well armed. Aren't you here about the Krulak? We have a vicious one on our hands. It's about the desert, killing any workers it can catch. How in blazes it developed a taste for gnome flesh, only that damn thing knows. Confound it! Between the Canyon Hill incident and that beast, our schedule's ground to a halt. Once word got out that Edgar Erin had found this mineral-rich site, Motus rushed to get an operation set up here. I'm all the muscle they bothered to send. I'm the lone guard Motus hired to protect this place. They've given me a chief of security title, but that means nothing when I've got no men to command. Now we've got a Krulak that's more than a match for a small army. I know better than to go out there alone. No one knows what's at the top of Cloudcrest, but that don't stop folks speculating. I've heard the first Fae set foot in Amalur came from there. That'd explain why there are so many of them in Detyre. I've heard bizarre tales about those caves. The workers swear they've seen ghastly men, ravaged by some plague or foul magic, pacing round the entrances. They were the first mining operation here in the Hollowlands, foreman by the name of Edgar Erin. Rumor has it he spent every coin he had building his mine. When Motus moved in, they waved bags of gold in the faces of Erin's workers. The next day, they all jumped ship. It's tragic, but it's business. We don't have separate rooms, but we've got beds upstairs. It'll cost you, though. We're the closest thing to an inn for leagues around us. Are you enjoying your stay? Those beds aren't luxurious, but they're better than sleeping on the ground. I've heard the rumors. They might be saints or bastards, but they've coin to spare, and that's enough for me. We don't know where it got a taste for the gnome miners, but it's been terrorizing the Dunehead mine. Motus is offering a considerable bounty for its demise. Know it as well as my own calloused hand. That's why they pay me good gold to sit here. You won't find much on the surface here, but trapped below is the salvation of Odessa's future. We've the raw materials under our feet to equip entire armies, and that's why you'll find Motus mining and, such as it is, Aaron excavations digging here. Canyon Hill is up the eastern ledge. That's the one that spooked the miners. The Dunehead operation's hardly begun thanks to a vicious Croddock. You got the picture. Don't know how the damned old thing got a taste for him, but once it gets an idea, there's no stopping it. We've put a price on its hide, but who'd be crazy enough to earn it? Well, you sure? All right, it's your funeral. You should speak to Edgar Aaron of Aaron Excavations. He'll know how to find Bloodbane. Edgar's lived in the Hollowlands longer than any of us. He's the foreman of the other mine here. He knows a thing or two about the Hollowlands. Been surveying this place long before Motus moved in. He ran Aaron Excavations until Motus hired his workers out from under him. It's tough, but that's business. I'm not sure what he's up to these days, but he hasn't left. Aaron Excavations. They're the other mining operation in the Hollowlands. Motus's only competition. Not particularly stiff competition, mind you. Especially since Motus wooed all of Aaron's miners with much higher wages. Speak to Edgar Aaron of Aaron's Excavations. He's been in the Hollowlands longer than any of us. He'll know how to find Bloodbane. I'll warn you though, Edgar's bitter about Motus luring away his workers away with higher wages. He probably finds the situation ironic now that Bloodbane is attacking Dunehead Mine. You look like you can take care of yourself, but you should be careful out there.
Always bring headwear, lest the sun burn you down. I wish the Fae would get out of Canyon Hills and work. There's money to be made, and we're not making it.
Name's Alex. Alex Anatole. Let me know if you've got any equipment that needs repairing. I'll get it back to you as good as new. They're Motus Mining's only competition out here. They set up shop first, actually, but they're just about finished. When Motus moved in, they lured the Erin workers with promise of higher wages. Erin excavations never recovered. I hear the foreman, Edgar Erin, is pretty bitter about it. He still hasn't left, though. Probably holding on to the hope he can get his business running again. It's a dangerous region, for sure. There are beasts out there just waiting to tear a gnome apart. The mining operations here have run into a real wall when it comes to the local wildlife. Take heed and learn from their hardship. Make sure you're well equipped, and don't hesitate to ask for repairs. Take care of your gear, and we'll always bring you home.
In ancient times, the desert had no shade. The sun burned the land to ruin. The rivers disappeared, and the animals hid underground. The people cried to Helios for mercy, but he didn't answer their prayers. As the plants withered in the heat, the hollow lands echoed with the crackle of fires.
I watch them day by day. Their foolish, meddling scampering to separate one piece of earth from a slightly different piece of earth. They know that the land will endure, will heal any wounds mortals can inflict. But I worry that these wounds may be long to heal. I cannot act. I am bound by our beliefs. But an agent of change could cauterize these wounds by making the century plants bloom. I shepherd the surface while Orenda sleeps beneath. I await the day when I may lay down to rest as Orenda does, beneath the sands. The mortal's growing influence in this world wearies me. Have you met her? Fair and dark as the night itself. She will sleep until my time is past. Then I will lie down and dream while she walks the sands. The little mortals, you mean? Forever cutting, clearing, dinking, will they never stop? Won't they tire of it and go away? Normally they blossom only every 100 years. The land stirs and wakens, and what was worn away rejuvenates. That is the way of things. In ages past, we danced in circles on the dunes and sang sweet songs to the distant peaks. Now I alone walk here, while Orenda dreams in reverie below. Oh, I cannot make them bloom, not now. When the time is right, one fey whisper will do. You mortals are not bound as we are. You can grow such things out of season. You wouldn't know with these little mortals here, but these lands are a fey place. And fey places need refreshing from time to time. The blooming of the century plants is the fastest route of recovery. The century plants have deep ties to the pulse and marrow of the land. Their breath wakens the desert, causes the rocks to stir and grow. A friend of the sands, you'll do what needs doing. You will need petrichor. Here is a skinful I have gathered. But first, you must ready the plant with fire. Only after fire will they drink the petrichor. There are 3 century plants in this land just now. Make all 3 bloom, and all will be well. The smell of the earth after rain. I have gathered it over years in that skin. each of the three upon the sands. Scorch it with fire, then slake it with the petrichor I gave you. For now, then.
is it? Don't try anything around the temple.
What is it?
You are my contact. I should have known. Punctuality is not one of your people's strengths, and you have so few. As Templar, the Forum demands that I do everything in my power to advance our knowledge. It is a tremendous responsibility, and one I take quite seriously. Formerus Hughes is one of my most brilliant scholars, and as you know, his research shows tremendous potential. His recovery is of paramount importance. His knowledge is invaluable, and must not fall into the wrong hands. And I'm terribly worried about his safety too, of course. That goes without saying. Edessa is the greatest bastion of knowledge and understanding in the world. I'll fire their hearts, mankind as its gods. But our only commandments are the solid, predictable laws of natural science. My fellow Templars and I sponsor research that will lead to the betterment of all mortals. Sadly, Alfar and man alike often have trouble accepting the reason behind our decisions. But most gnomes realize we have their best interests in mind. You may recall our mutual friend, Formerus Hughes, the gnome who brought you back to life? I suspect you would, but I gather you've been quite busy. Well, Scholar Hughes has been missing since the attack on his tower. As his patron, I am quite concerned. I want you to find him. You are, how shall I say, uniquely suited to the task. Don't be obtuse. I am his patron. As such, I own everything that Scholar Hughes produces. I suppose that includes you as well. The secrets in his laboratories are meant for gnome eyes only. They must be controlled at any cost. I could ask the same question. For all I know, Formerus Hughes is on the run from you. I am willing to assume that's not the case. Simply put, you may be my only chance of locating Hughes, just as I may be yours. It would seem the incident in Alistar made Scholar Hughes a touch paranoid. Every time we receive a clue about his location, he vanishes before I can reach him. But he's running out of places to hide. It's my opinion that there's one hope left of finding Hughes. You. And I'm grateful. Scholar Hughes is quite fortunate to have friends like us. Hughes has an old laboratory in the cavern of Saltwell Mines. I believe he's been conducting research there since the destruction of Alistar Tower. Find him, and you will be rewarded for your contribution to science. I will await your success in the Librarium in Edessa. He may have returned to his old laboratory in Saltwell Mines. But if any of my people approach, he'll flee. He's quite paranoid, for good reason.
There's no work here for you, stranger. Check with Motus if you're looking for a job. You'll not find one with us. I've spent a lot of time here in the Hollowlands, living off the soil and the wildlife. I thought I'd finally made a living for myself when I discovered the mineral deposits here. Not sure what I'll do now that Motus has stolen my workers, but I'll think of something. Motus will get theirs someday. I've lived in the Hollowlands for a time, seen lights and heard rumbles from the top that could have been the world's quietest storm, or very powerful magic. Mark my words, there's something happening up there. They call themselves a mining operation. They're more like a thieves' den. I was in the Hollowlands long before they ever set up shop. Once they got settled, they offered better wages to my workers. Every single one of them is working for Motus now. I couldn't compete with that kind of money. I had a small army of gnomes to help me with the mine. Spent a lot of money transporting them here and gave them a good living. And the miserable bastards have the gall to leave me for Motus. Capstan sent you my way, did he? Yes, I'm familiar with old Bloodbane. this Croddock is extremely protective of a particular pack of brownies. The surest way to draw it out of hiding is to attack those brownies. They help Bloodbane hunt, you see. I'll mark their territory on your map for you. Good luck. No one's been able to best the creature yet, and it would be unfortunate if you didn't make it back.
Winds in the Hollowlands can be fierce.
Oh, I'm in a terrible bind. I don't dare go forward, and I certainly can't go back. Mind you, I wouldn't go up that eastern ledge. It's most unsafe. Oh yes, our stalwart foreman. He sent you after me, I suppose. It's a place of mystery and intrigue. No one knows what lurks at the top, though everyone's got a guess. I've heard tales of terrifyingly scarred men appearing at the entrance of the caverns from time to time. I don't care why they're there, I just don't want them anywhere near me. Scholar of mineralogy, Motus mining, and unwitting adventurer. A pleasure to make your acquaintance, I'm sure. Edessa could not have been built without the Motus mining interest. Yes, well, no. I got 10 paces up the slope when I spotted those Fae. What's a scholar to do against hordes of vicious beasts? One of those boggarts. It shook its fist at me. Yes, and find out what's wrong. Now that I've found it, and have no desire to investigate further. There were boggarts, lots of boggarts. And I think I saw a thresh. I was rather too busy running to note the particulars. Well, if you were willing to go first, I would have no objection to trailing behind at a safe distance. To the Canyon Hill site at the top of the ledge, where a cadre of Fae awaits to rip us to shreds, no doubt. Lead the way. Up the slope we go. There they are. Dispatch them before they attack me. Discover a reason for their presence. Let's keep going. To discover.
Another, come to steal the light, come to trouble the reverie. I long to return to the reverie. While Calavar walks the sands, I must sleep. He and I are two, where there once were many. We lived then wild on dune and crag. Now he watches the waking day, and I tend to the dreaming murmurs of the stone. When I became aware the light was gone, the shell of the reverie cracked, and my dream self wandered free. Long, long ago, I wandered lost in the dark of night. I cried a pool into a rocky basin, and starlight gathered there. I fashioned this into a jewel, and by its light found my way home. Is it any wonder that I hold it so dear? They are my friends, drawn here as I drift between the dream world and the world of the waking. The light, source of solace, snuck in, sharp knives, soft feet, stole the jewel from my side, took it northward through the narrow rocks to their village of wood and cloth.
It's beginning to make sense. This Fey maiden is real, but I believe we're speaking to a projection of her as she dreams. There is a Fey hollow under this mine, where I'll wager she sleeps. And these other Fey, they're drawn to the power of this projection. Restoring to her this light she speaks of might calm things down. Find me at the Motus mining office when you return it to her. I'll make sure you're duly compensated. No, I feel quite certain. The maiden we see here is a projection of her dream self, as she calls it. The real Fae is asleep, somewhere in the hollow below us, I'll wager. And these other wild Fae are drawn to the power she exudes while in this form. Most likely return what was stolen to the Fae maid within the hollow. That is how these things tend to go.
The light... The light stolen. Stolen from my side to the north, among narrow rocks. Soft feet, sharp knives have set aside a place of rest, and were waylaid by many vines attracted by the glow of the light. Oh, the light! The light! The light! Return to me! Did you do this? The blessings of the thorn and shadow be upon your head, little mortal. Now leave me to the reverie, and the deep shadow and the far wind's sighs. I long to return to the reverie. While Calavar walks the sands, I must sleep. This is home, the place of power. I can feel the mortal's presence above, chipping away at the land. Calavar will not be pleased. Now I have the light, the reverie will be untroubled. Now leave me be, little one. Leave me be. Ah.
A Fey relic? Was that it? She called it a light. I wonder what possessed those fools to steal it. No matter. Facts are, without you, I'd still be tugging my beard at the bottom of that slope. So please have this. The interest rewards those who smooth its way. Foreman Vire? Head harder than a rock, and emptier than a mined-out stope. All this caused by a stolen jewel. Remarkable. As I've always said, there's no understanding Fey. All the same, we ought to have known we were digging right above a Fey hollow. Didn't seem important at the time, I suppose. Goodbye. Thank you for all you've done.
Welcome, mortal. I can heal your vessel if you require it. It is my role. This land is in pain. It is afflicted as the Naka are afflicted. I repair the vessels of the Circle when necessary. It is my role. Mindless, as some are Fae. They cannot distinguish Fae from foe. They attack all who approach. We know not the cause. Goodbye.
And the sands beget a mortal. Fascinating.
Greetings. You are strange. There's something distinctly Fae about you. The Fae have thrived here for many cycles. Though the way the seasons have been flowing, we may not thrive for much longer. Some of our brethren departed, like our champion, Engard. Some went mad and became Narga. Those of us who are left remain for the sake of this land. If it were free of the Naka curse, we would gladly follow after our champion.
We have confidence that he'll appear in Amalur once again. Every Fae is compelled to perform a function, and reigning as champion was Engard's role. When the champion returns, the Circle of Engard will take up arms once again, and our rites of combat will shake the earth. I direct the Circle of Engard in its duties. My allies and I serve the champion of valor, not the mortal pretender, but the Fae known as Engard. Unfortunately, the champion is no more. Not since his defeat in the arena by mortal hands. The Fae champion of valor, Engard, was defeated in battle years ago at the House of Valor by a Varani warrior. In accordance with Fae tradition, control of the house passed to that mortal, and the Fae were forced to leave. We realize our presence in Detyre is rapidly diminishing. If we can re-establish the tradition lost with the House of Valor, perhaps we can still stabilize our presence in this region. They are our brethren, afflicted by the same curse as the Almain Allard. Left untreated, the curse alters the mind and role of the afflicted. We term these brethren Naka, and you'll find them wandering the desert of Ulcerant, attacking any that come near. I cannot tell friend from foe. It'll take some time before it's safe to walk the sands without a resolution to this dilemma. Releasing him would be detrimental to Fae and mortal alike. I sense something peculiar about you, though. Perhaps you could help him. He could be healed, we surmise, with the completion of the Rite of Valor. Have you noticed my enraged summer brethren out in the sands? They attack anyone, friend or foe. We of the Circle term it the Naka Affliction. It's a curse magical in nature. The affected cannot be reasoned or bargained with. The Almain fell victim to the curse, and though it has not altered his mind, he complains of pain. He warrants study, and so we keep him. The key is the Cora Petal. The regenerative properties of the petal can cure the Almain. You'll find it on the vessel of the Guardian of the Caverns, the Cora Thresh. The Rite of Valor will awaken the Guardian, which has lain dormant in this long winter. Defeat it, and the petal can be plucked from its vessel. Head to the Caverns of Ingress at the base of the Great Spine. There are 3 Erathi sigil stones within. They are marked by a waterfall, a pillar, and a tree. Activate them in that order. Each stone will curse you. Once the last stone is activated, a beast of many vines will challenge you in your weakened state. Defeat it, and bring the Cora Petal to us. You must activate 3 sigil stones within the Caverns of Ingress.
They're marked by a waterfall, a pillar, and a tree. Each stone will lay a curse upon your vessel when activated, and summon opponents to face in your weakened state. At the right's end, a beast of many vines will appear to challenge you. Defeating it will permanently remove the curses. Their effects are temporary. The curses will vacate your body if you begin the rite, and then leave the caverns of ingress. You must retrieve the Cora petal from the caverns of ingress. Complete the rite of valor, and you will awaken a beast of many vines. Find it, defeat it, and pluck the Cora petal from its vessel. We have waited long for the champion to return.
Greetings, mortal.
We wait still.
Mortals are too fragile for this.
Strange. The threads of fate do not entwine your destiny. We await the return of our champion. The mortal Magnus defeated him, and he has not returned. I read the fates for the Circle. That is my role. They are our brethren, but they cannot distinguish Fae from foe. They attack all who approach, and we know not the cause of their malady. Mortal.
Aina, the mediator of earth and sky, came from Ashara. She beheld the suffering desert and swooped down from the hollow lands. Her feathers shaded the scorching sands. Her wings cooled the broken ground. Her tears fell to the dust where rivers were born.
Hello. I've been hoping you'd come by. The miners report no sight or sound of Bloodbane since you ventured out into the desert. That means they can start work on the Dunehead site, and that you've earned your pay. Aaron Excavations. They're the other mining outfit in the Hollowlands, our only competition, though I wouldn't say that they're particularly stiff competition. Thank you for ridding us of that menace. If you hadn't happened along, who knows where we'd be? Whatever that thing calls a stomach, I suppose. You're welcome here any time, friend. Though there's not much to do but swing a pick at rocks. You look like you can take care of yourself.
Amazing that the Fae can flourish in such a long
Oh, thank goodness you're here. It's my miners. They've gone deranged. Bless my beard. Just as both sites were coming back to full operation, the lunatics fled out into the desert. I tried to stop one of them and saw nothing but a blank stare and a strange light behind the fellow's eyes. He looked cursed. This is the work of that Fae, the one who sits atop the hill on the outskirts of town. If you can find that Fae and make him fix this, he'll be duly compensated. Damn right! There's no other explanation. He calls himself Calovar. Polite enough fellow, I suppose, but I'd never trusted him. When we first got this operation up and running, he'd appear out of the sands every once in a while and try to convince us to move out. It's so obvious now. I'll bet he was behind the other problems as well. The Cruduck, the attack on Canyon Hill, all of it reeks of Fae magic. Calavar watches the mine from his perch on the hill to the south. You'll find him there. Surely you've heard the name. Odessa's most powerful mineral mining interest. Dug the very stones Odessa was built on, and the gems that power her. Well, the Canyon Hill site's underway thanks to you. But for every step in this place, there's another stone to trip on. They had an ill aura about them as they ran off into the desert. What they were running from, I don't know. None of them made any sense. They were just yelling, saying things that weren't there. Didn't you hear me? They've gone soft in the head. Most ran off into the desert, some stayed in the mines. I tried to stop one of them and got nothing but a vacant stare and a strange light behind the fellow's eyes. Then he took off. He looked cursed. I bet my beard that damn Fae had something to do with this. No